Hi, thanks for staying with us. Sports is an important activity within tourism, and tourism is a fundamental feature of sports. This is from Higman 2001. Now, Glasgow Godfrey noted that tourism has been argued to be the world's largest industry, accounting for about 5.5% of the world's gross national product and 6% of employment. Tourism is a $1 trillion industry, and sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry worldwide and has become a dominant and defining force in the lives of millions of people in the world. So do you think sports has the potential in Nigeria, given that tomorrow Lagos State would be witnessing one of the major sports events in Africa, the Lagos City Marathon, which brings people from all over the world to participate, and run to earn a prize money in Lagos, right? So do you think Nigeria has the potential to, harness this multi-billion-dollar business in the sports world, attracting sports tourism in the country? Now, let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Or you can tweet at us at Wayshow Africa 1 with the hashtag Wayshow. Man, you're the one looking very sporty today, so
Are you serious?
let me start with you quickly before I bring in our guest. He's on the line, is holding on.
Okay.
So what do you think? Do you think we have the potential in Nigeria to bring sports to that magnitude where, like the Tour de France, where people go to watch Formula One, in Australia, the Australian Open? I mean, there are so many opportunities that can happen with sports, right? But do you think we are ready for that in Nigeria?
I don't know if the viewers have been seeing my eye movement. Actually, you want my honest answer?
Very honest.
We're not ready.
Okay.
When you see countries abroad, trying to build their economy using different sectors like the tourism
and
sports, they're actually working because of certain measures that have been put in place. You understand?
Also.
So one of those measures is a culture of maintenance. So we don't in Nigeria have a culture of maintenance.
Yeah.
So we are used to running down things. So it's not about asking if we are at that place where we can actually give the world what we have in terms of sports tourism. It's whether we are even ready for that. You understand?
Absolutely.
So I don't think we're ready.
I like the fact that you say we are not ready, but do we have the potential for it though? Do we have the market for it? Yes, we do. I believe we do. Don't twist your eyes, because we are over 200 million people, for goodness sake. You know what? Let me bring in our guest. Bukola Olopade is the CEO of Nilayo Sports Management Ltd, a sports management and marketing company who has worked with some of the biggest names in the world of sports, like the IAAF, the CAA, and AFN. He has also served in various leadership capacity as president of Nigerian Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Ogun State Commissioner for Sports, Youth and Sports, and special advisor to Ogun State Governor on Youth and Sports. He's also the owner of the Access Lagos City Marathon. In case you did not know, they are the company in charge of that major event. And he's joined us because tomorrow is the marathon. He's somewhere in the finish line trying to sort out some things. But thank you so much, Bukola Olopade, for joining us this evening.
Good evening.
Are you there?
I'm here. Good evening, listeners. And
sorry, I'm trying to. Bukola, are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Oh, now we can hear you clearly. All right. So you heard Manny is the, how do I call you now? She's the doubting Thomas right here.
Yes.
She's not interested in anything sports. She believes we're not ready. But do you think, first of all, how is the preparation for the Lagos City Marathon happening, that's happening tomorrow?
Everything is all ready. We are smooth stepping, and we're looking forward to a very exciting race tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're talking tourism because, I mean, you are the perfect person to actually bring into this conversation because you have held this event for, I mean, how many years now? And it's going bigger and stronger every single year. With every year, more people are coming in, they're participating. And we're seeing that there's a potential in this, right? But like Manny rightly pointed out, you know, countries that have attracted sports tourism, you know, as part of, you know, economic growth for the company, for the country rather, they have so many things put in place. I mean, right from their airports to the kinds of roads to the kinds of infrastructure that they have, you would know that they are ready to say, you know what, if the world wants to come to us, we would be able to accommodate the world. But you see, we understand that there's a potential in Nigeria, but how well are we doing, you know, attracting sports and tourism in this country, or sports tourism in this country?
Well, first of all, Uwa, thank you very much for having me. I'm a pathological optimist on the Nigerian project, and I do not share the opinion of those who are always very negative and who believes that we can't do anything constructively in this country. One thing that is constant in life is change, and the negativity about the way we do things in Nigeria cannot remain static. There are so many examples, live examples, of how we've translated some of these things that people tend to see as negative to positivity. So why am I on this program today? It is because we've put together a world-class road rail that has moved from obscurity within the space of 7 years to an elite label category A, only one step to platinum. And what are the KPIs? What are the indicators that the World Athletics will look at before they'll give you that elevated status? They are: one, how effectively are you attracting foreigners to your race? 2, what are the infrastructures you put in place for your race? 3, what is the prize money? 4, how organized in terms of project management have you been? And if in 7 years they've come to tell us that we are at the top of road running in the world, a phenomenon that is growing globally, then why would we question if we either have the potentials or if we are ready? It is not a matter of whether we are ready. We are there. Can we do better? Can we do more? Yes, just as the Boston people will say, oh, we can do more. It's a learning curve for them every year, every day. It is also a learning curve for us. When you look at golf, the growth of golf today in Nigeria, and the attraction that of foreigners that golf has brought into this country, I would debate and argue with anyone that sports must be a contributory agency to the GDP of this country, contrary to what we have today. Today we have 43 contributory agencies, and sports is not one of them. I beg to differ. Sport is contributing effectively to tourism in this country, just like music. The other day I said to someone, Rhythm Unplugged should be codified and should be made the #1 tourist attraction in this country. I want to change that. The Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is the biggest tourist attraction today in this country. An event that brings close to 4,000 foreigners every year. I mean, how can we undermine ourselves by not seeing what is right in front of us? So I disagree with the person that said there that we are not ready, we do not have infrastructure.
Okay.
We are changing slowly, we are changing gradually, and we are getting there. Our roads are better, our airports are improving. In the final analysis, I repeat, change is constant, and we are not going to be static. We are not just going to be there wallowing in the negativity. We are improving and we are changing our country.
Okay, so Mr. Olopade is a unapologetic, patriotic, optimistic Nigerian.
As he should be.
Yeah.
I believe in the Nigerian project.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have a question? Because I was just, Do you have a comment?
Okay,
Yeah.
for me, I would like to talk about the mindset of the people, of the citizens.
Yeah.
So I hear you very, very well, and I believe what you're saying. Maybe I'm not well educated, about what's going on right now in the sports industry. But aside from the people, the citizens of the country, thinking that sports is just, a means of passing time, do we actually see it for what it can bring into the country?
The economy, yes.
Yes, so I'm talking about the mindset of the people here.
Okay, so Mr. Buki.
So my answer to that is very simple. I believe strongly that the mindset that resonated when I was growing up has really changed tremendously. How many of your friends do you see who have sons or daughters who say to them, go and learn how to play football, your mates are making $200,000 a week? That is a huge narrative now.
Yes.
All over the country, people are putting their children in sports because they see that sports has become a huge business globally. And Nigeria is in that global village. And you cannot extract Nigeria away from what is happening everywhere.
Absolutely.
So to your question, the answer is yes. More and more people are realizing that when a child has a God-given talent, that can transmute and translate into a multi-billion revenue stream for a family. And therefore, you see people encouraging their words to do sports. Who are the anchor of this program had a yearly event that had to do with board games, mind games, that was so popular and so heavy. Do you know the amount of money people are making from playing chess? Do you know how many children who are on a foundation empowered through that sporting initiative? And I'm saying, ask Uwa, how many indigent children came from Agege at the last edition and the one that was held in a hotel, where indigent children without slippers came and mixed with children from St. Xavier and other top schools and excelled. If you follow that through, those children will become breadwinners just playing chess.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, you just sparked up something very strong inside of me. But thank you so much, because you see, I would like to ask Mr. Olopade, what exactly do you see that is the problem? Because what Manny asked is really, really interesting. And yes, you pointed it spot on, because my sister registered two of her boys with Barcelona Junior Club. You know, a lot of mothers now are registering their children in different football clubs because now they are seeing it as a business. It's no longer a leisure thing, right? So what do you think is the missing link, you know, that we're not looking at it? Because it's not for lack of talent that we do not have, or is it the spaces that we don't have? We have, I mean, we have beautiful, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned golf. We have beautiful golf courses. We have a lot that we can actually use as a good tourist attraction. The day I saw people surfing in Lagos, I say, so it happens in Nigeria. I did not know, right? But it happens in small pockets, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Olopade. So how can we make it like this can actually generate revenue? How do we do that? What's the missing link?
I think, first of all, we need to change the mindset. She spoke about mindset earlier on, and I believe strongly there's a trajectory towards showing that sports is a veritable tool of empowerment. It's a tool for business. It's not just a tool for entertainment. But to change that narrative completely, government must give recognition to sports and put it in a place of reckoning, just like what they are doing with music and the arts. Look, I'll give you a typical example. I've been saying that we need bailouts for sporting federations. Every industry during the COVID, and I mean every industry, the media, the arts, music, oil and gas, banking, got bailouts. Who did anything to bail out sports? And this is why I'm appreciating all the corporate bodies that are putting their naira and kobo into sponsoring sporting initiatives like the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon. The amount of people that Nilayo Sports Management appoint or employ or give ad hoc employment for is amazing. When you look at the data and the numbers, you will agree with me that our contribution to the GDP of this country is being overlooked. And it is high time we started giving sports the respect it deserves. No longer putting it on the back pages of newspapers, no longer making it the last news on TV. Yeah. It is massive. It is taking out thousands of boys and girls off the streets. Asisa Shola from Agege is a multimillionaire today. I can go on, but we won't live here if we keep talking about those who have become breadwinners through sports. So therefore, in answering your question, the government must put enough campaign behind sports, showing people that it is no longer for losers. It is no longer for not do-gooders. Look, my background is law. And I did a bit of politics, but I came out of politics and I came back in the private sector only to be focused in sports. Do you know what I did? I went back to school to do a postgraduate degree in sports because I saw the writing on the wall. Right now, we're only scratching the wall on the multi-billion, trillion of dollars involved in sports globally. Have you heard of esports? Have you seen how Nigerians are excelling in esports? Do you know that a 13-year-old kid won $3 million from playing esports? Do you know the amount of young boys and girls who have become independent of their parents in Nigeria just for playing esports? Wow. Sport is too much into building our society, and we need to give it the respect it deserves.
Oh wow, oh wow. I think Mr. Olopade, you came to break my table today, but you know what? Let's take a very short break. Yeah. When we come back from the break, we'll continue this amazing conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back. All right, so if you just tuned in, we are having an amazing chat with Bukola Olopade on sports tourism potential, right, in Nigeria. Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. I mean, he's just touching all angles of the conversation, like, you know, whipping up a lot of... And these things are actually real, right? It's so real. You can even feel it. But I have a feeling that maybe because some of the sports is individual based, you know, I don't know, maybe that's why the attention is not, the government is not paying a lot of attention. Maybe if we had probably like, I don't know, if we had maybe a group kind of sports, you know, the only thing that we have like group sports are the football. We don't even really have basketball here in Nigeria. So, and that's what the government does.
Should encourage different sports.
That's the one that the government really pays attention to. So
when we talk about sports in Nigeria, we just think football.
Only, yeah. So, but you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, so, you know, you said something, which is my point. I'm a believer in Nigeria and everything that Nigeria has going for them. But I think I always just see what I need to address and then I speak about it. So for me, you said something, Uwa. You said your sister registered her boys in the Barcelona club, right?
Yeah.
And I have a son who loves football. I'm trying to encourage him. So I also want to register my son in the Chelsea club. Yeah, because of everything I've heard about it. So why is it that we are going abroad to register these children?
To bring the clubs.
Yes. Okay. So it's we definitely see a gap here. So why do we need to go abroad to register? Why can't we look within?
In fact, I will now burst your bubble. So God rest his soul, the passing of Deji Tinubu, right?
Okay.
Afterwards, the management of the club just went like this. So now she has pulled them out of that club. They are in a smaller club now. In fact, they are going to Dubai in April.
What club is that?
It's a smaller club in, I can't even remember the name. right? They've pulled them out of that club. They're going to Dubai in April to go and participate in a football tournament for children. All of them. If you see how much they are paying to take the children to Dubai to go and pay, each child, I think it's about maybe $6,000 or something, or two of them. I can't remember how much it is. But that is money. That is Dubai economy that would enjoy, you know, and all of that. So, Mr. Olopade, if you're there, help us out, please. What's happening?
All right. Again, I think from this discussion, I believe strongly there must be a huge mass education of Nigerians on the way sports works in this country.
Okay.
First of all, those boys or girls were registered with the personal teams right here in Nigeria.
Yes.
So, but your colleague there does not know that. They are registered right here in Nigeria. It's like the way you talk about Chevron and Mobil and foreign companies coming to do telco. Those foreign club sides discovered what we have not discovered, that we are a breeding ground for talent. So they brought their money to Nigeria to invest. We have Real Madrid in Rivers State. Yes, they brought the academies to Nigeria. We have Real Madrid in Rivers State. I know authoritatively that teams like Atletico Madrid are also planning to come because they finally discovered there's a gold mine here. But let's talk about the Nigerian project. The best football academy today, and one of the best 5 in the world, is based in Ikene, owned by Kule Shoname, Remo United, where 10 billion naira has been invested to build for Nigerian local children and for the indigent children. So it is not true that even amongst us in Nigeria here, we are not pulling our weight. It is not true they are taking these children abroad. I am a club owner, Nilayo FC, which became Stormers of Abeokuta, with young children being given the opportunity to excel. But the truth of the matter is, we need to educate one another on the effort that is being put by so many people to empower our children and create breadwinners from our children through sports. We must do everything possible to support private organizations who are putting their money behind this empowerment.
Okay, so I like your...
Again, sorry.
Go ahead.
Football is not the only sport that is played in groups. Majority of our special people who play sports, they play in groups. Badminton is played in groups.
Okay.
Table tennis is played in groups. Swimming, the medley, is a relay, is in groups. We have private teams from individual sports, even in Scrabble, even in chess. Is a team work across board. There is no excuse for not the power of sport just because they think it's all about football. It is not true.
So,
and again, I'm saying there must be huge education around the country, but more importantly, we must bail out sports just as we've bailed out every other industry in the country.
So I just want to throw in a question because you mentioned the private sector, right? So do you think that for us to be able to harness the potential that sports has in Nigeria, you know, that would attract this tourism that we're talking about and bring in the money, increase our GDP, do you think the government should continue to promote sports or sporting activities, or you think it's something that is best handled by the private sector? What do you think?
It has to be a symbiotic relationship.
Okay.
You can never, look, it is the responsibility of government to empower young people all over the world. It is the responsibility of government to empower young people. Now, if there is a dynamic that we can play up to create employment for young people, that is the responsibility of government. So government can never take their hands out of sport. And I challenge you to show me any country in the world. And I've been all over. I wrote theses on how the Australians, the Jamaicans, the Americans, how they've evolved. It is government funded. It is only when you now encourage the private sector through tax reliefs, through enhancement of business, through patronizing them and recognizing them, that more private sector people will throw their money into sports development, and you will have a near perfect situation where the government and the private sector would have come together to create a lot of employment through sports.
Okay, so talking about, let's stay on the government, right? Winter Olympics is happening, I think, in Japan. The World Cup happened, the African Cup of Nations happened in Cameroon and all of that. How can we start to see some of these things being brought to Nigeria? You know, no matter what it is, if we are hosting, right? If we're hosting, what's it called, World Cup, or we're hosting maybe African Cup, or hosting any of these major tournaments that happen globally, that is a big, huge, it will have a huge impact in our economy, in our GDP. So how can we ensure that Nigeria is positioned for that? What should be put in place?
You see, we need to first of all appreciate what we have right in front of you. A few kilometers away from your studio, we are putting together a world-class, iconic finish area for a road race that has become iconic globally. A road race that is discussed on CNN, Al Jazeera, everywhere. And we fail to recognize that we have something that is almost bigger than AFCON. The Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is the biggest one-day event in Africa, the biggest sponsored sporting event in Nigeria ever. And yet, we talk about people hosting stuff. Okay, let's talk about that. Where was Cameroon when we hosted the world in under 17 World Cup? Where were they? Where were they when we hosted the Nations Cup? We've hosted a lot of stuff, and we keep hosting. And I'm sure we'll continue to host. In 2018, you followed me to the fundraising dinner of the African Athletics Championship in Asaba.
Delta State, yes.
That was an amazing event, hosted by Nigeria seamlessly. We need to start appreciating what we have and what we do. We cannot continue to be the ones condemning the value that we bring to the table.
Okay, let's stay on the marathon, because I'm happy that you're saying that we're not promoting, but you know, that's why we actually decided to have this conversation, because we understand what you're doing, and we do not want it to just go and slide like that as if nothing happened. Something is happening, and something huge has happened, you know, it will happen tomorrow, you know, with the marathon, right? But what do you think we can do to make it even bigger and better? This marathon has the capacity to bring people from all over the world. Every year, first of all, Mr. Buki, it's always Kenyans that are collecting our money and carrying our money back. But let's keep that aside. You know, how can we get it to become a rave? You know, it's just like the way Cameroon hosted the World Cup. The whole of Cameroon would know that something is happening, right? How can we even make the ones that we have gotten right? I mean, for 7 years, is now on the elite label. You say it's just one more to platinum and all of that. That's a beautiful thing. So how can we move it to that level where it now even like almost triples, you know, or quadruples the kinds of attention that it's getting, to even make it a bigger, better event? What should be put in place?
I know who is from Edo State, and I know they fly a lot there. Who I just spoke like she was flying around me a few minutes ago. Because a few minutes ago, I mentioned to Mr. Amechi Okobi of Access Bank, and we discussed a strategy that will blow up world media. Wait for it. We are making an announcement that will elevate this marathon from where it is today to 10,000 miles away from where it is, and elevate it beyond anybody's comprehension. However, let's talk about what it is today.
Yes.
People have been calling me to say, thank you for always telling us the date a year ahead. We do not put our wedding date on your date because you shut down Lagos. I've done more than 15 interviews in the last 4 days from all over the world. We have the BBC planning to document this tomorrow. And we have so many people around the world talking about it. Do you know that last year, that we reduced the number of people who ran? We trended number 1 for 1 week. Check tomorrow and see what the trends will be like. And if Access Bank Lagos Marathon is not trending number 1, number 2, come back to me and say, Bukola, you guys are not doing anything.
We have comments. Oh wow. Bukola Olopade. We are going to come back to you definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally hear him, and I believe everything you're saying. Well done. Kudos to everything that you're doing. I think the federal government definitely have to step up, because like what we always say when we talk about economic growth in regards to any sector at all, we talk about the government, creating an enabling environment.
Absolutely.
So now we're talking about tourism
and sports.
So we'll go back to insecurity issues. We'll go back to lack of infrastructure, things that we need in Nigeria. We're talking about good roads. We're talking about electricity.
Airports,
We're talking about airports. We're talking about all these things. So are these factors going to discourage these people from coming into Nigeria, even if we have something good? You understand? So there's the part of having something that is good enough to export, and there's the other part of having it good enough to make them come, irrespective of
okay, I think Bukola Olopade can actually respond to that. How has it been, receiving the delegates and all of that? So whenever this event is happening, is it seamless for the people that come into Nigeria, so that more people listening can say, you know what, next year I'm going to be in Nigeria?
Yes.
So listen, I think the last question is very apt. What this government has done that I really like with regards to what we are doing with this race is the seamless approach towards getting a visa. It has been said that the Nigerian visa is one of the most difficult visas to get.
In the world, yes.
But it has been simplified for us. I am not always convinced when people talk about Nigeria in relationship to insecurity, this, that. I'm not saying it's not there, but it is all over the world. When the IRA were bombing the United Kingdom, they were still hosting the European Cups. They were hosting international events, and they were doing everything to secure their countries and their cities. Ditto the United States. At the Boston Marathon a few years ago, a bomb went off. Sure. What the general manager of that race said was that we're going to continue our race tomorrow, as we are not going to allow little-minded people to take away our way of life. Nigeria is a very secure place. Lagos is one of the most modernized cities today in this world. I don't care what anybody says. Modernization is pervading the air in Lagos. And that's why we can have beautiful women, intellectually gifted, having this debate on a platform that they own. It is modernization. It is growth. It is security. It is awareness. So we have a race that has been bringing between 1,000 to 4,000 people every year. Can you show me any other tourist attraction in Nigeria that does that?
That deserves a round of applause. Let's take a comment.
Okay, so this comment by Wei Yamdi says, Queen of Talk, let's face it, sporting activities have gone beyond mere pastime activities. They are now money spinners, huge sources of jobs, national development and cohesion. The onus is on the managers of our sports sector to overhaul the sector. The citizens, the media and athletes must put pressure on the government to do the needful in terms of good laws that will reform the sector. The private sector too must be wooed into investing in sports.
Hearing. All right, so
I believe.
Mr. Olopade, we have like a minute to go. If you had something to say to us and to the government, what would that be as regards the potential for Nigerian sporting industry?
I believe the last 3-4 years have been amazing. And you know, the last time I was in your studio, I did mention the beautiful job Honorable Minister Sunday Dare is doing. And I see a lot of traction. But I must also give credit to the private sector. A few weeks ago, Amaju Pinnick and I announced a monumental sponsorship from Stanbic IBTC for football. Today, I just told you that Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is the biggest one-day event in Africa and the richest marathon in Africa. I wasn't the one that said that. That was Norrie Williamson, the man who measured the Olympics 4 times consecutively. So things are happening. But to you ladies at the studio, I'm especially inviting you to come tomorrow, meet me at the finish line, and have a wonderful time tomorrow. To Nigerians, please look out on channels, on LTV, and I think SuperSport will be doing a wonderful job bringing the pictures to your home if you cannot make it here. If you can make it here, join me, dance to Zlatan, dance to Tenny, and dance to Wandiko.
Okay,
thank you.
Oga Maketa. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for the
Very soon
invite.
you have to partner with PlusTvAfrica as well. You cannot be calling other people when we are here. All right,
We are
thank
very
you.
open.
Thank you so much, Bukola Olopade. It's been an
Thank you very
amazing
much.
chat. All right, so we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we wish you a fantastic event, and we know that this will bring many more great events and sporting tourism, sports in the sporting industry in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Thank you,
very
Made.
much.
We had a fantastic
Yes.
conversation. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagrams at Wayshow Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all the conversations on social media, like, engage, and share with your families and friends, and tell them to watch and follow us as well. Now, if you missed today's quote, this is a very powerful quote, and I think Bukola Olopade touched very strongly on it. He says, while tourism is often resource intensive, it is a major driver of poverty reduction in developing countries. This quote speaks to the potential that it can actually have to eradicate poverty in Nigeria. So let us pay attention more to the sporting industry. We'll see you guys live on Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.